Hi guys, welcome back. It's been a while, but I here to just give you an update on my recent travel. So I won't say I am the cruise queen, but I'm the cruise queen. Not really, but anyway, so I just came back from my third cruise this year. Um, so the first cruise that I went on this year was February. I went to Nassau, Bahamas, with my family. In September, we went on well, let me tell you, the cruise line that I cruise with has been Carnival for all three trips. So the first boat was Carnival Elation. We went to Nassau, Bahamas, and we docked from Jacksonville, Florida. The second cruise was Carnival Paradise. We went to Mexico, and we docked from Tampa, Florida. And then this last cruise that I just came back from, we did the Carnival Sunrise, and we docked from Miami, Florida. So just kind of stop by to update you on my cruising and travel fun. So this most recent trip was a girls trip that I went on with a few of my in-laws and her friends. So it was a fun time. We went to the Bahamas. I've been to the Bahamas a couple times and it never gets old. I love the Bahamas. Nassau, Bahamas has the best food, the best people, the best vibe. So I have no problem with going back to the Bahamas. That's like, I won't say it's my second home, but if I could get a home over there, I would. Those are my people. I love going there, from the food, the people, the vibe, the environment. It's just chef's kiss. I love it. So yeah, we went to we docked two ports on that cruise. So we went to Nassau, and we also went to Princess Cays. So Princess Cays is an island, and I think Carnival owns that island. It's pretty much like an island. You have to take a water shuttle from the boat to get to that island. They have a buffet set up by Carnival. It's free. You don't have to pay for that. Of course, you have the beach. There are some excursions on that island, but I didn't do any of them. It was on the other side of the island. I didn't get a chance to do any of the excursions. I kind of just ate and enjoyed the scenery. Bought a few souvenirs to take back home. So, you know, the little shot glasses. So I'm not a big drinker, but we do have like a little small bar in our house. So I've started collecting shot glasses. So I bought a few shot glasses from the island, and I'll show you those in another video. But yeah, so that's what we did on Princess Cays. On Nassau, we kind of toured the island, went to a few places through a shuttle. A guy, you know, that one of the girls knew, he took us all around the island, and we went and ate. I love their conch salad, their fried conch fritters. I feel like that taste, you can't get that nowhere but from the Bahamas. So yeah, I love the food there. So it was a good time. The girls trip that we went on, we had different themes. So one night was The Great Gatsby Roaring 20s. So you can go to my Instagram or my Facebook and you can see pictures of me that night. I was in character. I was Harriet that night. So yeah. And then we all were dressed alike in, you know, matching shirts the first day. And then what else? They had a theme where they wore muumuus. I didn't participate in that. Also, they had a theme where they did dressed up like grannies. I also didn't participate in that, but it still was a fun time. What else can I tell you about that trip? It was my first girls trip. I did room by myself, and I'm glad that I did. I just like my own space. I just like my own space. I initially booked for a stateroom, but they periodically, when you book, if there's upgrades available, they'll send you a note in your app or an alert telling you that you can upgrade this room, and it's normally not the normal price of that room. It's normally at a discounted rate, and I got that alert, and it allowed me to upgrade my room to a room with a porthole. So that was nice. I was able to get a view of the water, so that was nice. I only think I paid like $40 or $50 to upgrade that room. Now, mind you, the cost of the rooms does vary, depends on where you are on the boat, whether you have VIP points. I'm a frequent traveler, so I do get discounts through Carnival, so that you know, I kind of pay like a discounted rate for my staterooms. And of course, it's always going to be more expensive when you are going by yourself in the room. Of course, if you were in there with two, you guys would split the cost of the room. But like I said, I just like my own space, especially when I'm not traveling with my family. I'd rather just be alone. That gives me the opportunity to be in my own space, be in my own element. When I'm ready to go to bed, I ain't got to worry about nobody talking or cutting the lights on and off. I can go to the bathroom when I want to. Yeah, those are just the perks of not having a roommate. And like I say, to each his own, but when I'm traveling alone or not traveling with my family, I'd rather be in a room by myself. That's just me. So I pay the money. What they say? I pay the cost to be the boss in that room. So it is what it is. Yeah. So I just I am willing to pay the extra money so that I, you know, can have my own personal space. And you know, I got a lot of rest. That was the first time in a long time that I traveled alone without my children or my husband. And it felt real good. It just felt good to just, you know, be able to just, you know, get some rest. So it was much needed reset for me. I needed that time away. And it's okay to, you know, need time away. You gotta know yourself and know when to say, hey, I need a break. And so that was a nice needed reset for me. Still had fun with the girls, but when it was time to retire and go back to my room and get rest, I did just that. I went back to my room, did just that, cut off all the lights, silence. And I love that. I don't get that often, so it was a much needed reset. So had a good time, fun time. Some of the things I want to talk to you about with cruising a lot, if it's your first time cruising, just some helpful hints. So the first thing you want to do is, if you can book early, you want to try to book early. That gives you the opportunity to have better rooms. If you are you do excursions, the excursions sell out fast. I have not booked any excursions on any of the trips that I've recently took, but I will say that they say that the excursions sell out fast, so if you can book them earlier, the better. They say it's safer to book the excursions through the actual cruise line, because if something happens, they can reimburse you. Or if something happens, let's say you get sick or they are late coming back, they notify the cruise and you won't get left So that is the perk of booking your excursions through the cruise line versus doing them on your own. And I think that that is, you know, safer. Some other tips and hints that I have for you, helpful hints that I have for you is, if you're traveling within the country and the port docks, the port is, you're leaving from the same port that you debarked from or left from, you're returning to that same port. Most of the places don't require a passport, but definitely do your research. You can travel with a birth certificate and a state ID as long as it's not expired, but definitely do your research. I travel with a passport. I do have a passport. My husband has a passport. My children do not have passports, but we are working on it. But it is easier to travel with a passport, cruise and by plane. I will say I haven't flew in a while, in a couple years, but I have with cruising. I will say the passport line is always faster. You get in and out faster. It's just a faster process. And then I think they do what's called smile technology, where they take your picture and literally you just walking up and it's scanning your face and matching it, I guess, to the passport that's in the system, and you in and out. It's a faster process. So I recommend, if you can get a passport, to get a passport, because it's easier to travel with a passport. And definitely do your research, because it depends on where you're going as well. So like some of the countries, you do need a passport depending on where you're going. I will say back in September when we went to Mexico, my aunt does not have her passport, but she was able to travel with her birth certificate and her state ID. But again, do your research. Depending on where you go, you will need a passport. But she did not have to have a passport, and my baby did not have to have a passport to go in and out of Mexico. Another thing I wanted to mention to you, when you're cruising and you're checking in, I will say check your bags. Especially if you are a heavy packer, you're not going to want to be carrying around all those bags and suitcases, because you may not get to your stateroom till later at that day. And if you're checking in at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and your stateroom may not be available to about 1:30 that day, you're walking around a boat with a bunch of bags and suitcases, and hopefully your suitcase has wheels on it, or else you're dragging around a suitcase. I would not recommend that. Definitely check your bags. They say that the porters don't have to be tipped, but I have always, my mom and my stepdad were frequent cruisers, and they taught me that you tip your porter. So we tip. So just be prepared to have cash so that you can tip your porters. I will say tipping, they take care of those bags. They make sure that those bags get to those rooms right away. I do know that sometimes when I'm traveling in groups, the people who have not checked their bags, or who, who don't tip, their bags don't get to the rooms as fast as those that tip. I don't know what that is, but I mean, of course, money motivates the people. So we definitely tip our porters when we get to the port. Now, if you are flying in, you want to make sure that you arrange transportation and you leave up ahead of time just to account for traffic. I will say we drove down to Miami, and that traffic is a beast. This is nowhere. That traffic is, the people drive very aggressive down there, and if you are not an aggressive driver to drive aggressive back, you may get into a wreck down there. You have to be very aware of your surroundings. As far as on the road, people will literally run you off the road. They don't use blinkers down there, so the traffic gets heavy. So I will say, make sure that you plan for traffic time, driving time. If you can fly in, fly in. If you are locally to the port where you can drive, just make sure you leave ahead of time so that you can account for traffic, parking. We used this parking company called Safeway Parking. When I went to my cruise in Jacksonville, we parked at the port, but for the one where we docked for Tampa and Miami, we used a company called Safeway Parking, and it is where your car is parked in either a garage or a space where it's monitored 24 hours, and that way as soon as you get off the boat, you can go straight to your car and leave. Both times they had they had a shuttle that will take you from the area where you're parked all the way up to the actual port and drop you off. So I always recommend looking into that. Parking was about, for this recent cruise, I had to do like a $20 deposit when I booked, and then I had to pay the balance when I got there, 60 something dollars. So it's about $80 altogether. When I docked from Tampa, it was about a $20 deposit, and I had to pay the difference in cash. I think $60 altogether, something like that. But it was worth it because my car was in a 24-hour surveillance area where, you know, they were watching it. So that was the good thing about parking. Some cruise essentials that I feel like everybody needs to know is just making sure that you have everything that you need in the event that something happens. You know, nobody plans for sickness, nobody plans for not feeling well on vacation, but things happen. You're in a new environment, you're eating new food, so you want to be prepared for that. So some of the things that I recommend as a nurse, so definitely Dramamine for motion sickness and feeling seasick. They sell it for adults and they sell it for children. If your children are traveling, you definitely need to have that on hand. They do sell it on the boat, but it's much more expensive on the boat. You may find it in some of the gift shops on the islands, but it's going to be very expensive. So you definitely want to just plan to purchase that and take it with you. You buy it before you get on the cruise. And you can buy it from Amazon, you can buy it from Walgreens or any of the local drugstores, Dramamines for motion sickness. Of course, if you take any medications, you want to pack those to make sure that you have everything you need. Diabetic medications, high blood pressure medications, thyroid medications, anything you take on a regular basis, you want to make sure that you have that packed so that you do not leave it, because you don't want to get sick or have an episode while you're on that boat. They do have medical on the boat. They have nursing staff and medical staff on the boat. But if you can prevent, something happening or an episode or an exacerbation, just have what you need, inhalers, things like that. Another thing I recommend that you take with you is Benadryl. You don't know when you're going to have an allergic reaction to something. Benadryl pills and the cream. You might get bit by something. You might eat something that you may be allergic to. You're exposing yourself to foods that you don't normally eat. So you definitely want to have something available. Like I said, there is medical on the boat, but if you, can have things on hand that where you can treat yourself to avoid a big medical bill on that boat, you definitely want to, make sure you have what you need. A cruise approved surge protector. So you can't bring regular surge protectors. They will confiscate them So you want to make sure you use bring a cruise approved surge protector, and you can buy those from Amazon. I posted a video on my TikTok page that shows you a picture of, or shows you a video of one of the cruise approved surge protectors that I have. Definitely want to invest in that. They don't have many outlets in the room, and if you're traveling and have more than one person in your room, you're gonna need outlets for phones, laptops, tablets. So you just want to make sure that you have what you need and it's cruise approved, because like I said, if it's a regular surge protector, they will compensate that. They'll give it back when you get back, but you can't take it on the boat. So you want to make sure you have that. Want to make sure that you have I always say recommend bringing a tumbler, your Stanley cup, your Miyoki cup, whatever you use, your Starbucks tumbler, whatever you use to stay hydrated. Just because the cups on the Lido deck are very small, you have to go back and forth and fill them up. So if you bring your tumbler, you can just fill it up right there. That way you don't have to go back and forth, stand in line for drinks. And then also late at night, you want to have something in your stateroom to drink. They will provide water, wine, soda, of course, at an additional cost. They'll bring it to you. It's just an additional cost. And if, you know, you're like me, you like to take a drink during the night, that tumbler comes in handy because it's already filled up. Another thing that I take is water flavors to flavor my water, because the drinks that they have on board is very limited. They have tea, which is unsweet. You have to add the sugar to it, and lemonade. And then for breakfast, they have like orange juice and this guava passion fruit juice, which is so good, but you're going to get tired of drinking that. So you definitely want to, you know, bring water flavors to flavor your water to stay hydrated. Each person can bring a 12 pack of sodas. I never bring the sodas just because I just be like, that's on top of the bags that I have to carry. I just don't be feeling like bringing 12 packs. So, and we don't really drink soda like that too, but you can each person can bring a 12 pack of sodas, but you have to walk that on. You can't, have that in your bag, checked bag, or they may confiscate it. As far as packing, they do recommend for about a 5-day cruise, they recommend about 2 bags per person. I normally bring my big suitcase, a shoe bag, and of course my purse, and then sometimes I'll bring my beach bag. This last cruise, I took my suitcase, a shoe bag, my beach bag, and my big tote purse. But my beach bag is so big that I was able to set my tote purse inside the beach bag. So I didn't have to carry as much. And then again, I check my bags as soon as I get to the port. So the only thing I was walking on with was my purse and my beach bag, and my purse was sitting inside of my beach bag. So I was carrying just one big bag. You want to make sure that you pack all your essentials. Of course, you know what to pack: deodorant, lotion, everything you use on a daily basis, toothpaste, toothbrush. Try not to forget those things. You may be able to find it in the gift shop, but again, it's going to be expensive. Make sure you pack panties if you wear panties. I will say, not this previous cruise, but the cruise in September, I thought that I had not packed enough panties, and I was like in a frenzy and like looking for panties in the gift shop, looking for panties in Mexico, and I'm like, dang, they don't wear panties here. But then when I searched my bag again, I found where I stashed them in like the back of my suitcase. I was like, oh my God. So I always tell people, make sure you pack panties. If you wear them, make sure you pack them. So yeah, and so every cruise, every Carnival cruise have what's called an elegant night. Now, you don't have to go all extravagant. You don't have to go all grand. I will say we do normally dress up for elegant night. I like dressing up for elegant night because that's like the one night that you can get all fancy. I mean, especially if you're not, you know, doing too much at home outside of vacation or traveling. That's the one opportunity that you can get to, you know, put on a nice ball gown or a nice, you know, suit. you know, to dress up and look nice. It's not a requirement, but just to let you know, that is one night that everybody normally dresses up. If you eat in the restaurant, you do have to somewhat be presentable. You can't come in there with a bathing suit and shorts and things like that. You do have to be presentable if you're eating in the restaurant. Now, you don't have to eat in the restaurant every night. You can just eat from the Lido Deck, the buffet, Guys Burgers. You can eat from there pretty much all day. I do know that some of the cruises have a midnight buffet, so it's up to you. But if you choose to eat in the restaurants, you do have to reserve your dining. They have early dining, late dining, and your time dining. So you want to make sure that you do that. The last cruise that I just came off of, the girls trip, we had to check in on the app, and if it was more than a party of 10, you had to check in with the server, and all your party had to be there to be seated. So just keep that in mind. Most of the cruises for the restaurant, you have to be assigned a dining slot for dinner. What else can I tell you? For this girls trip, we had what was called a scavenger hunt, and there were lots of fun things to do. It was about 16 of us. We were divided into teams, and each team had to do something off that list each day, and the team that had the most items accomplished won. It was a lot of stuff on there. So like some of the things were to take a picture with 2 strangers, take a picture by the water, record a TikTok, post your favorite outfit, kiss a stranger, give someone a lap dance. So it's a lot of stuff on there. Buy a souvenir. It was a lot of stuff on there, a lot of fun. Just kind of gave everybody an opportunity to engage and be sociable with strangers. I got a few of those items checked off on that list. Did not kiss a stranger because I am a married woman. But I did, do a few items. Like I took some pictures with 2 strangers. I bought a souvenir. I took a picture of me buying a souvenir with one of the locals. What else? One of them was do something special for the birthday girl. I bought both of the birthday girls gifts, but one of the birthday girls was on my team, so I couldn't use that one. So I gifted the other birthday girl a gift, and so you had to document everything through pictures or through video. So that was a fun exercise to kind of get engaged. You definitely will come out of your shell playing those types of games, especially if you're shy and you don't normally talk to people. That will kind of get you out of your shell. Some people, when you walk up to them, they really just don't want to be bothered. And I get it, because you're on vacation. You're not, some people didn't want to participate, and I definitely get it, but it definitely was a fun time. Like I said, that was my first girls trip. Would I do it again? Yeah. Will I room with someone? Probably not. I still probably will be by myself in a room again, but definitely, I come out to participate in the activities. It was just an opportunity to get to know new people, new women, and just get out the house and just kind of relax and be away from my regular day-to-day environment. So it was a lot of fun. What else can I tell you about that trip and cruises in general? So I told you about travel documents, passport or birth certificate, and state ID. I told you about baggage. Check your baggages if you can. Tip the porter. Excursions, book ahead of time. What else can I tell you? Do your research on the city the city or the island that you're going to, so that what's going on, the language being spoke. If you need to get a translator on your phone so that you can understand the language. In Mexico, a lot of the people there spoke Spanish, but a lot of them spoke English and understood English, so it wasn't too bad. We didn't really explore the city in Mexico as much as we do in the Bahamas, just because, you know, that island was new to us. We had our 3-year-old toddler with us. We were kind of leery with getting into the taxis, but we are going back to that same island in Mexico in February with our family, and we're also going to Honduras, so we'll get an opportunity to explore the island a little bit more this time, because we didn't get to do it the last time. So what else can I tell you? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Just wanted to stop by and just kind of update you on my traveling and cruising escapades. I recommend cruising just because it's all inclusive. You know, if you don't want to buy food, you just really don't have to, but definitely, you know, set some money aside just so that you can experience the food on the island that you're going to at least once. If you're the type of person like me, I love wings from everywhere. So wherever I go, I have to taste the wings. I did not get a chance to get any wings in Mexico, so I'm pretty bummed about that. But I did. Did I get wings in the Bahamas this last trip? Not sure, but I am the wing girl. I feel like I need to start a series on tasting all the wings everywhere I go and just giving reviews on wings, because I love wings. So yeah, but definitely, you know, take some money, put some money to the side so that you can, you know, at least taste the different foods on the islands that you're going to. Pick up a few souvenirs to bring back. What else can I tell you? Cruising is so much fun. I love cruising. Now, Carnival is, I've been on a Disney cruise before years ago when my children were smaller. This is my 4th Carnival cruise, 3 this year. The first one was a couple years ago. I went to the Bahamas years ago, but this last trip has been my 4th cruise. And I will say, if you cruise a lot with Carnival, you get the VIP points, I think is what it's called in the app. And once you get to a certain level, it changes your tier status. And you can tell people's different tiers by the color of their room cards on Carnival. So I think blue is like the first tier, red is the 2nd tier, gold is the 3rd tier, and then gray is like platinum, the highest you can go. And different things come along with that. You get like free perks, free drinks. Some of them comes with, like, you know, you can get a massage. So it pays to travel with Carnival, because you do get those perks for being a frequent Carnival guest. That's the good thing about cruising with Carnival. I would say all the people are always so nice. I have not met a rude person on a cruise since I've been cruising. The staff members are always so nice. What I will tell you about staff members as well. So when you first book, it gives you the opportunity to prepay your gratuities. Now, I tell you about tipping the porters. So the staff members on board, I don't think they make a lot of money. So I do recommend tipping, whether you tip in cash or you prepay it. Me personally, I prepay my gratuities because I just don't want to worry about having to figure out the tip. I'd rather just prepay it. So I prepay our gratuities when I book. That way, when I'm ready to get off the boat, there's no surprise charges on my tab. I've already paid everything in full, and anything that is being charged to the room, it is being charged on my card. That's another thing I want to briefly talk about is when you book, you can either choose to attach your debit or credit card, or you can do a cash account and add cash throughout your trip. They do have ATM machines there, and then they have gift services where you can add cash to your account. Me personally, and it's a preference, but it is my preference, I attach my card because I'm not standing in a guest services line. I just think that takes away from the cruise, the time that you're spending in a guest services line. You could be enjoying your vacation. So and like I said, it's a preference. I just attach my card and let them pull it off whatever I spend on the boat. They don't take any cash on the boat. Your room key is also your method of payment, so don't lose it. Don't lose it. That is your method of payment. If somebody picked that up, they can literally go in the liquor store on the boat and cash out with that card. Don't lose it. But yeah, I just kind of just don't like to be waiting in a guest services line for anything. So I prepay my gratuities. I attach my debit card. Now there is some controversy about attaching the debit versus credit. With a debit card, I will tell you that if you attach your debit card, they put like a $200 hold on that card. And of course, if you don't spend anything, that hold is released once you get off the boat. But I will tell you, it may take a couple days after you get off the boat for them to release that hold. So if you know that you're gonna have like other stuff coming out your account, or you don't have the money to cover certain things after that, you just want to make sure that you have that money in place so that your bank account is not held up. Of course, if you don't spend anything, they're going to put it right back. But if you spend anything, whatever you spend or whatever you charge on the boat is going to come out of that $200 hole. And then it'll adjust once you get off the boat. You have to pay your balance before you get off that boat, or they will be turning you around and sending you back to guest services. You're not even going to they scan that card. When you're disembarking, you have to have your card out and your travel documents, whether it be the passport or the birth certificate, and they're scanning that, and it's to make sure you are who you are. You're not someone trying to finagle your way in from another country. It's to verify that you are who you are coming back from that cruise, and that you do not have a balance on that boat. Otherwise, they'll turn you back around. I don't have time for that. When it's time for me to get off that boat, it's time for me to get off that boat. I don't owe nothing. My card is attached. Everything gets charged to my card. So that's the thing. But if you're worried about the debit card and the whole, if you have a credit card, maybe attach the credit card, or just plan to have that money in your account so that way when they debit it, it's available to come out and it doesn't put your bank account in the negatives. Or like I said, you can just add cash, or plan to have that cash available and add it when you get on the boat. I always say, even though I have my card attached to the room, I always try to have some cash with me, because again, I tip the porters. And then most on the island, some of the vendors on the island accept debit or credit, but when you just have to be careful when you're in other islands or countries, because sometimes your bank account may get locked. They'll put a hold on it. You just don't know the banking system in these other countries or other islands. So I try not to use my card on the island. I try to spend cash. So I would say put aside at least maybe $200 in cash for tipping the porters, and for whatever you want to spend on the island. That's what I would recommend. And then what else did I want to talk to you about? Oh, another thing with your card being attached to the room, if you are the main guest, which is the person that books the room, you want to make sure that if you have any other adult guests that may not be your spouse or your child, you want to make sure that they check in on the app individually and they choose their method of payment. And the reason why I say that is because if you're in a room with someone who has not chosen a method of payment in the app, whatever they charge on that boat will get charged to your card. I do know there's a separation, but they at the end of the cruise, when they put your final statement on the door the night before, it has the different charges, and they don't separate the charges. It's just on one printout. So like the last cruise, me and my husband went together. All the charges were on one thing, and it got charged to my card. Of course, that's my husband's, but let's say you're traveling with, let's say you're on a girls trip and you're in a room with someone you don't know, and that person is charging stuff to the room. Yeah, that balance got to be paid somehow. So you just want to make sure. And that's another reason why I don't like rooming with anybody. I have never roomed with anyone outside of my family. And I probably will never room with anyone outside of my family. That's just me. That's just me. I would hate to fall out with anybody about space or money when it comes to traveling. So I kind of just, like I said earlier, I paid a cost to be the boss. And that's nothing against nobody. That's just me. Yeah. But anyway, so that was just kind of like my spiel, my summary. I wanted to talk to y'all about my cruises. So it is December. We are 1 week away for Christmas. So of course, I probably won't travel again this year. I know that I'm not traveling again this year because we have less than 2-3 weeks left in the year. But definitely my family and I are taking another cruise in February. So I probably will be back in between time. You know that if you're a TikTok user like me, they say that TikTok is going away, so I probably won't be on there as much. So I want to try to kind of come back over to this side, YouTube, get used to coming back on YouTube, talking to you guys, just because I like to, share different things that's going on in my life. I love talking about traveling. I love talking about nursing, my kids. TikTok is, TikTok is fun, but if it's gonna be going away, I gotta come back to my roots, YouTube. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have a good day. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday. Bye. And if we don't see each other in this platform before the holidays, I want to wish you all happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Remember that Jesus is always the reason for the season. This season is one of the seasons that sometimes for some it is not the most happiest time for them, whether it's because they don't have family members to celebrate with, whether this time of year is very stressful. I think we've gotten away from the real reason for Christmas. It's not about gifts. It's not about receiving. It's about the gift of life that Jesus gave us. So we celebrate this month the birth of, the birth of Christ, Christmas, the birth of Christ. Don't let this season get you down. If you're not able to do the things that you want to do, just remember the real reason for the season. Don't let the pressure get to you. Remember that Jesus loves you. Do what you can. If you can't do it, don't feel bad about it. Definitely try to, teach your kids the real meaning of Christmas. My kids get gifts. That's just kind of how I've raised them. But the older they do understand that the season is about the gift of life, the birth of Christ. So don't let this season get you down. Remember, it's an opportunity to spend time with family. It's an opportunity to show love. It's an opportunity to recap the year and just be better people for the world. All right, that is my spiel. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. And like I said, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye.